Okay, now let's get started. Hello, everyone. Let me first welcome you all to this year's Mathematical and Scientific Machine Learning. This is the third meeting of a sequel. And this year, the meeting is hosted at Beijing by Peking University. The meeting is mostly virtual due to the pandemic. But we also have a small offline meeting room. Some local people will go there and listen to the talks. Let me first say a few words about the general status of this year's meeting. We have received 38 submissions, and finally we accepted 22 or 23 papers. Although we don't have a lot of submissions, but we do have very high quality submissions. We give, well, this is sort of the tradition of MSML, is that we give sufficient opportunities for authors to fight for their papers, to respond to relatively negative reviews. And for some of the papers where we have very diverse reviews, I think the meta reviewers and sometimes the general chairs, we read the papers and we think we give a fair decisions on those papers. So this is tremendous effort for both the authors, reviewers, and meta reviewers. So here I'd like to thank all the authors, the reviewers, and meta reviewers for their effort in selecting papers this year. I would also like to thank the organizers, which is the main organizer, also the sponsor is the School of Mathematical Sciences at Peking University, and also the Center for Machine Learning Research at Peking University, and also the Beijing International Center for Mathematical Research. And I also like to thank the co-organizers, co-organizing institutes which helped with the organization: the Institute of Natural Science of Shanghai Jiao Tong University, the Department of Mathematics of National University of Singapore, and also the Institute of Physics of Chinese Academy of Sciences. And the chairs of this year is myself, Qianxiao Li from National University of Singapore, Lei Wang from Institute of Physics, CES, and also Zhiqing Xu from Institute of Natural Science of Shanghai Jiao Tong University. And I also like to thank the staffs, Junyu Zhou, Tian Tian, and Yan Yun Liu, who had been a tremendous help in putting together the meeting within a relatively short range of time. The form of the meeting is mostly online, and because of the Zoom meeting room that we can create it from using the department account, can only hold no more than 100 participants. So we didn't send the Zoom link, broadcast. We didn't broadcast the Zoom link. So only the speakers and the reviewers, meta reviewers, receive the Zoom link. But the talks will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube later on. And also, it will be live broadcast through coshare.com. Okay. So I think that's all I want to say about this year's meeting. So next, please welcome Professor Weinan Yi to say something about the meeting. And Weinan, could you could start.
Thank you very much, Bing. Well, a few years ago, a group of, I would say, relatively senior people, like Stan Osher, Anna Gilbert, Stefan Millar, and Roberto Carr, Michele Pernello, George Koniadakis, Linkar, and mainly mathematicians, applied mathematicians, physicists, material scientists. We sort of felt there is a need to have a forum to discuss machine learning in the context of theory and application to science. That's how this meeting got started. I think there were two main reasons for having this meeting. The first is that even though machine learning is an extremely popular subject, and it's been discussed in several such annual meetings, the theoretical side, particularly the mathematical theory side, as well as application to science, were not sufficiently emphasized in existing venues. And it's basically due to the fact that scientific machine learning and mathematical theory was started a few years ago, not very long ago. So that's one thing. And the second thing is that the mathematics community and the science community have a relatively different culture. So, for example, in the science community and mathematics community, the annual conferences are not very popular. As a matter of fact, very rare. We are more comfortable with journal publications because it's thoroughly refereed. But on the other hand, the nature of the machine learning area is such that it's difficult to go through very long, tedious review process and get paper published. There was a sort of a conflict in that regard. So that's why we decided to have this meeting, and we also decided that we will invite young and active people at the frontier of these areas to be organizers of the meeting, and also the meeting will be rotated between Northern America, Europe, and Asia every 3 years. So the first meeting was in Princeton, and the second meeting was in EPFL in Europe, and the third meeting is in Beijing, Asia. I would say due to COVID, the scope of the meeting, the size of the meeting has been very much limited. But on the other hand, I would also say it's been successful in the sense that, as just being just described, that the spirit that we wanted to have, namely having a thorough review process and attracting high quality papers, in that regard, I would say is quite successful given the COVID situation. So I would thank the organizers. They put a lot of work into this to put this meeting together, and I hope the spirit of this meeting would continue. I think it's very important. It's a very vibrant subject with attracting more and more people. Even though my term will be over, I sort of volunteered to serve as the chairman of the board for the first term. But I would expect that the meeting will continue and it will be more attracting more people in terms of size. Thanks again, Bing and Ken Xiao, Lei Wan, and Jichen Xu, so for putting the effort to organize this meeting. And I expect to wish you to have a successful meeting.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So also next year, the meeting will be hosted by Brown University. So we just sort of also kind of a tradition that we will ask the next year's organizers, come up at the opening and say a few words. But George Kanedakis, Professor George Kanedakis, he's currently traveling in Greece, so the time is not good for him. So he recorded a short greetings to everyone. So Junyi, could you share the videos with us?
Dear colleagues, happy to be with you today. First of all, to congratulate you for the opening of the Mathematical and Scientific Machine Learning Conference in Beijing. And second, to tell you about the next conference on the same topic in Providence, Rhode Island in 2023, June 5 to 9, 2023. The venue will be the National Science Foundation Sponsor Center called ICERM in Providence, Rhode Island at Brown University. Topics, in addition to the theory and algorithms of machine learning and applications across different fields, will also have emphasized hands-on tutorials for students and new researchers in the field, including machine learning frameworks such as TensorFlow, PyTorch, and also JAX. In addition, we'll engage women and underrepresented minorities, which is very important for the success of this conference. We're grateful to the leadership of ICERM NSF, who will host us in this beautiful building that you see here in the middle, on the top floor, that will also cover expenses for the invited speakers. Regarding the invited speakers, trying to have, again, a balance between male and female speakers, younger and more senior speakers, as well as people from the industry. Again, looking forward to welcome you next year in Rhode Island, in Providence, Rhode Island, at Brown University, and I wish you all the best with your upcoming conference on mathematical and scientific machine learning 2022. Good luck.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Professor Karnadakis, for the opening. And also the information on the next year's MSML. Okay, I think this is about the opening and the background of this year and also the next year's meeting. So let's take about 2 or 3 minutes break, and we will have our first talk, the plenary talk given by Lulu.